Hey everyone, I'm Chris with Clutter Reduction Junk Removal in Southeast Florida. We're kind of doing a little bit of a series of things that you need to get started in the junk removal business. If you're new to this industry, it's not the most difficult of jobs, but it could be a little complicated trying to learn all the ins and outs of it, just like any other business. So we've already talked about pricing sheets, pricing, marketing, and networking. Now we're talking about equipment and tools to keep with you at all times to get done the majority of your jobs. So if you like this video, please be sure to like it, share it with other people you know who want to get into this business or industry, and of course subscribe to see us tackle daily jobs, talk about moving tips so you can get out of your customers' houses without causing damage, and of course learn about tips like this to help you with your overall jobs on a daily and weekly basis. So without further ado, let's get started. The first thing is probably most important one, and that is to invest in a truck and or trailer to get your jobs done. Otherwise, how else are you going to haul away the junk? We recommend trying to get a reliable truck, whether it's a pickup truck or a junk truck or a box truck, whatever you can afford going into this. If you're going to do a pickup truck, you can just do a pickup truck with size on it to start off with doing smaller jobs, and then you can always go rental a truck if you need a bigger one for the job at hand. Or you can get a pickup truck and get a trailer, whether that's a utility trailer or dump trailer. Of course, would probably be a little easier with the offload process. A utility trailer would be better if you're going to be maybe hand loading everything, or if you're going to want to be able to offload stuff without having to take it down off of a dump trailer. Box trucks can be great because it's enclosed and it's a single vessel vehicle, but there are some cons to it for being junk removal. Check in with an insurance agent to see which is going to be best for you. Otherwise, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, when I started off, I used rental trucks. I used U-Hauls, and I would just get the different size truck depending on the type of job I was going to. But I would recommend that if you need to do that, you can start with it, but make sure you can get a truck of your own and or a trailer to begin with, and then you can upgrade over time. The next thing that you're gonna need is some heavy duty dollies and Handtrucks. Get a good quality dolly and hand truck that have bigger wheels, so they're better for terrain and cracks and getting over crevices. You want to make sure you can get something that is going to get your job done weight capacity wise. You don't want to get like a little dinky U-Haul hand truck. Try to get something that's a little bit more fitting for the type of furniture, larger appliances that you're going to be hauling out on a daily basis. With the dollies, we've made some separate videos in the past. Try to get something with at least 3 to 3.5 to 4 inch caster wheels. And for the hand trucks, try to get something with the handle that kind of comes out like this so you can have a neutral grip for it. It's going to be the most strongest grip you can get. Overall, that's kind of all you really need for equipment when it comes to that. A bonus would be to get mattress bars, which we talk about all the time on the channel. You see us, we use it on a daily basis. And then it would be great if you can get some kind of large container you can use to put a bunch of small stuff in, stick it on a dolly and roll it out to your truck just to help save trips. The next thing to get is a couple of moving blankets and straps to keep in your trucks at all times. Moving blankets can come in handy if you need to drape it over a staircase or over a door so you don't scratch it up on the way out. You can also use it to lay on the floor, stack a tall piece on top of, and slide it through the hallway like a drag pad if it doesn't stand up on top of a dolly because of the clearance. You can also get some forearm straps if you have a heavier awkward piece. You could always run them underneath it and carry it with the person next to you. Kind of makes things a little bit easier. You can get a moving hump strap, which you can use to run under a piece long ways and kind of helps put you in a better position if you have a really tall piece and a steep staircase. That way one person doesn't have to be like this going down the stairs. Of course, make sure you have a tool bag with a good collection of tools, hand tools, power tools, screwdrivers, wrenches, socket wrenches, pliers, wire cutters, your power drill with different bits, screwdrivers. Anything you can realistically really think of, you can probably use, because at some point you're going to have to take apart furniture like bed frames and tabletops, entertainment centers, TV stands, cribs. All these things are going to require tools to take apart, so you want to make sure you have a good combination of the different ones you're likely going to need. Because we do junk removal and not moving, eventually you're probably going to have to cut something in half and or into pieces, so I highly recommend you get a Sawzall. As far as the brand goes, whatever you want, but try to get some good quality blades that aren't going to be worn out after just 1 or 2 uses. But you want to get something that has wood saw blades and metal saw blades and or just general purpose, and try to get a combination of 6-inch and 8 to 10-inch blades in case you need to cut through something a little thicker. But you may need to cut down a playset or a trampoline, or cut up a jacuzzi, cut up a sailboat, Maybe you need to cut up a big wood piece, or maybe a piece got hoisted into an apartment building and you have to cut it up to get it downstairs because you can't unhoist it if you don't have the people with you. So you may need to cut something up for numerous reasons. We cut up really long pieces of wood that would otherwise stick out of our truck, or a really long PVC pipe or something. So sometimes it's just a real quick bloop. Sometimes it's a real big piece you have to sit there and saw it for like 20 minutes. But it's a lot easier than trying to use a handsaw or trying to break it down with a hammer or something. Of course, you always want to try to keep a broom and dustpan with you so you can sweep up after a job. It's just a nice courtesy. And if you do use a sawzall in the house or in the back porch or in the garage, you may want to use that just to sweep up any sawdust or any filings you may have created. It also helps if you can have an electric leaf blower that's power operated, that you can use the same batteries that your drill does, so that way you can just real quick clean up a whole area in a matter of like a minute. PPE equipment, personal protective equipment, something like a hazmat suit, respirator mask, regular mask, goggles, a booties, gloves, anti-cut gloves in case you're poking around needles and stuff. Anything to kind of help protect yourself from your environment, whether you're in a hoarder house or a drug addict house, or if you're working out in a construction site, or maybe you're in the more woods area and you're having to go between vines and there's poison ivy and there's little thorns that are going to cut you up. All these different situations may require you to wear protective equipment. So you want to make sure you either carry that with you on hand or at least have it at home so you're ready to go when a job like that comes up. One of the most common things you'll probably end up using on your jobs for smaller pieces of trash is either a trash can or trash bags, and you want to try to get a combination of regular trash bags for lighter stuff and contractor bags for heavier dense material. And then you can also use trash cans versus having to repay and constantly rebuy those trash bags because they're not cheap. Contractor bags are basically $1 a bag if you really think about it, or pretty close to it, versus a trash can. You get one-time can, you fill it up, you go dump it if you have a dump trailer, repeat the process. If you don't have a dump trailer, or you're not in a situation where using trash cans on a repetitive basis would be ideal, then of course trash bags would be your next best friend. But the cool thing about junk removal is you usually end up finding them on the jobs anyways, so you never have to buy them. I think this is often pushed off out of categories of equipment and tools, but your smartphone or a tablet, something that you can run a CRM software off of or keep track of your invoices with, is a very important tool. Plus you can use it to document pictures and videos or keep track of your jobs, and you can use it to handle your scheduling and your jobs and your estimates and your customers and everything. It is a tool, so make sure you have something that's compatible with all these different things that you're going to need, and it's something that can handle the memory and the storage of a lot of pictures and videos. Very important that people don't think about until it's too late is a first aid kit. So something that can deal with cuts, open wounds, gashes, burns, or you get poked with a nail, something you can clean quick before you can go to the doctor and get it fixed even more. You know, if you have a slit on your head from a piece of glass that breaks off a cabinet and catches you, or if you have dust that flies up into your eyes, or chemicals, or you inhale something, you want to make sure you have a good assortment of a first aid kit. I recommend you just go online and look up an OSHA first aid kit and get something that's already in a plastic container labeled with the instruction manuals and everything you could potentially need. Keep it in your truck, check the expiration dates, and just replace it like every year or two. It's a quick $25, $30 purchase that's going to save you when the time comes, because the last thing you want to do is let something go. Working in junk removal, this isn't exactly a clean job. You don't want to have an open wound on your arm handling more construction debris or handling a hoarder house, pulling stuff out of an attic and having all that crap go into your cut. So you want to make sure you get that attended to right away. And that doesn't mean you have to just drop what you're doing and leave the job, but you could do a quick fix up on your own and then get it taken care of afterwards. The next thing kind of goes with most vehicles if you don't already have something built in, which is a ramp. So whether that's a curb ramp or a ramp for your truck, whether you have a box truck, if you don't already have a lift gate, if you have a utility trailer, you know you have that drop down ramp. But if you have a dump trailer or a box truck without a ramp, or a junk truck without any kind of attachment, you may want to look into getting a custom ramp built for it, because it's going to help with the loading and unloading process. In addition, you may have a piece that you can't lift up into the truck. Maybe it's like a riding lawnmower or a golf cart or something that you may need to push up it. It really comes in handy. Also, curb ramps, not necessary per se, but they do have their perks. When you have a heavier piece you're coming out a front door with and you have a drop, sometimes a drop from the Handtrucks can crack the tile there. So having a little curb ramp you can put down, number one, makes things just a little bit easier, but can also help prevent damage on the lip. Or if you're in a house with a sunken floor, so maybe you have a whole living room, really heavy, awkward stuff, and you already have like a little 6-inch drop just to get on the main floor, a curb ramp would come in handy for that. A couple of things I would keep in your truck at all times is anything safety related. Make sure you have an air pump in case you get a flat tire, have a flat tire repair kit, get a little battery pack that you can use to jumpstart your truck if your battery dies, or make sure you have a numerous amount of either a headlamp or a little lantern in case it's dark out, you need to work on your vehicle, or if you have a mechanical failure, you have extra fuses. If you are registered with DOT, which you're going to have to do eventually, you're going to have this stuff with you anyways, like DOT triangles. You're going to have extra fuse boxes. You're going to have a fire extinguisher, stuff like that. But it's good to have it just in general in case any of those situations arise that you may need emergency equipment to get it taken care of if you can't rely on things like triple, or you don't want to spend the time waiting for those things to happen. So these are a couple of just quick things to kind of focus on. And I would say that's pretty much the majority of what you may need. There's a couple of things that I personally would throw in there, but I'm not going to do it in this video. We'll do it in the future. You can also check out some of our previous materials or our what's in our truck video, where we talk a little bit about some of the specialty items that we have that we learned from the moving company. And that kind of just helps us take care of our customers' houses, take care of the loading and offloading for ourselves, and also just help things in a little bit more of a smooth process. So hopefully that gave you some ideas as far as what to keep with you for your jobs, and we hope that helps. Again, my name is Chris with Clutter Reduction Junk Removal. If you liked the video, be sure to like it, share it, and subscribe for more.